All right, y'all, what's up? This is the company I was talking about, and there's many more like it. You got to be really cautious if you ever put money in there, because what'll happen is their employees are in a third world country like India or somewhere, where where they don't get paid a lot of money. They pay them dog shit basically, and then what happens is the employees from that company find little ways to sell your identity on the low. That's how all this crack and card shit and all this shit works, because people from these companies compromise your identity. Okay, so what ends up happening, you guys, is they sell your identity. So at any given second, I swear, money, even, man, these cards just aren't safe. You know what I'm saying? And these companies are trash. Yeah, they fucked me up for like $100 once, and it's a whole nother story, you guys. But we're gonna get into that. This is pertaining to the credit building video I just did. So we're gonna get into something totally different, but we're gonna get back into the story about Juan, aka the real Mexican, East Side St. Paul, late 90s. He has jumped into the car that we have failed to child safety lock into a trap that has been hatched for him, maybe planned out for a few days. And he totally caught him by surprise. So he jumps in the car. Right when he sees our car pull up, he comes like, man, I think he came out like a barber shop or something like that, dressed in all red. And I didn't really know back then that Mexicans that wear all red from Cali were Norteños. I didn't know that, or Norteños. I somewhat pronounced that wrong. I didn't know that that even meant anything. I just noticed it. And I knew he wasn't a blood. So he was wearing all red, all flamed up, like some Dickie shorts, red t-shirt, red rag, all flamed up. And he really wasn't even on that type of shit. He just, I guess, was doing his thing that day. He, right when we pull up on the block, I'm driving. He sees us, jumps right in the car before we can even do what we needed to do with the lock. And we didn't think that mattered. But it ends up mattering big time, man. So we hit a couple of corners. I pull up in an alley. He knows me, not my boy. I'm the one pulling the bullshit. My homie, he's just there. It's not really a betrayal on his part, because he doesn't know this guy, never seen him. So I'm the one on bullshit. My boy has the hammer, and I got the wheel. Now, before all this, we were broke. So what we did was borrowed like $2,000 or $3,000 from somebody, a big knot of money. Okay, everybody was banked up back then. So we borrowed just a few $1,000s from somebody, $2,000-3,000 to make it look like correct, that we were really making a move. Okay, so fuck it. No, he had the money. He had the money and the hammer. I had the wheel. Okay, so we pull up in an alley. Dude throws the shit on my lap. My man spins around, puts the mag to him. Right? So it's all on my lap. My man puts the mag to him. He's sitting shotgun. He turns around, puts the mag to him. I should have known it was going to go bad, because right when he did this shit, homie was like shocked and started chuckling. But he was still shook. But he was like, couldn't believe that we were robbing him for the little amount of what he was like. What? Like, what the fuck? Like, hey, homie, like, what y'all doing, man? Like, no, we can go hit the real lick. Like, no, I know we can really get them things, man. We can get them things, you know what I'm saying? And but once you commit to something, you're committed to it. He's like, man, he's laughing at us. He's like 5'3", 5'4". He's laughing at us. He's not a big swole dude. He ain't no tatted face up Mexican. He don't look all crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, and he didn't really speak the greatest English, but he wasn't a Paisa. I know that now, but back then I didn't really know the difference between shit. But knowing all the details about him that I learned over that time dealing with him, I know now more about him than I knew then. Okay? Even though I haven't seen him in over a decade. He's a good guy. I hope he's out here really doing his thing. And that's not just some YouTube bullshit. Okay? So, and you'll understand why. So Juan is like, man, you motherfuckers are tripping, yo. Like, we can go hit the real Hefes, man. Like, you're tripping. And what he was talking about, he was probably serious about, you guys, because now knowing the politics between Mexican gang, Chicano gangs, and Paisa cartel type shit, I understand the divide in that they're not really the same entity by any means at all. Okay, so what he was probably like, man, I know we can go hit the Paisas. Like, you're tripping. Tripping. Oh, you guys do, you know, fucking nail roofs? You guys nail roofs? Oh, you guys are roofers? You put nails in? Like, oh, man, like, oh, man, he had a use for us, but we were already too far in crossing him. So he jumps out the back in the middle of us patting him down. We don't get the back of him. We don't pat his back down. We both, like, get a leg. As we're patting him down, my homie just turns around back with takes him off. He takes him off the site. He takes the joint off of him, turns around just like I am, sitting in the back shotgun. Dude's right behind. He's not paying no. I don't know what the fuck went over my man in that moment, why he did this. But he acted like dude was just a total non-threat, and he turned around, just took the hammer back off him, and just sat back, like, wasn't even watching him. I'm still watching him. I'm driving. If everything's on my lap, I'm driving. I'm watching him though, and he jumps out the car. And he jumps out the car, and he reaches, and he's like, starts fumbling around, and then he reaches behind his back. And as he jumps out of the car, on this side of him is another car, so it's a narrow space. He jumps out of a 4-door Saturn, and then he jumps out of the car, and then the other car is right against his back. But instead of running, he starts trying to still talk with us, which, as he was jumping out, I had started to somewhat of a dialect with him, and was like trying to give him a justification as to why we were robbing him, which there was not one. I was like making up some fake territorial type, you're from Cali, we're from Minnesota, you're on our territory, we gotta do you in type. No, it wasn't none of that. That was some made up bullshit, dog. That wasn't even how politics really went. He didn't know, but that's not even how it went, y'all. So I stopped sitting there like kind of trying to like let him know it wasn't personal, man. The shit was about turf. He jumps out. My boy's not paying no attention. He jumps out, reaches behind his back. I smack him up. What the fuck you doing, man? He's reaching behind his back. My boy's, oh yeah. He kicks the door open. Boom. Lets one off. Right between Juan's legs. Bow. He maybe did shoot him. But Juan was like, you shot me, man. You shot me. And he jumped on the gun and put his finger where the hammer strikes the firing pin on an automatic 16 or maybe 17 shot automatic handgun with a hammer that was protruding. Wasn't like a Glock where there's no hammer or it would have been over. So he noticed he was smart. So he knew all the workings of the gun. He had enough time to look at it from it being in his face. And then when my boy kicked the door open and boom, let one off through his legs. He was fast enough to see the operations of the firearm and then jam it before another one could go. But because the warning shot did the exact opposite. It instead of scaring him off, it made him jump on the gun and say, "You shot me," and jam the hammer in a life and death scenario with the gun pointed right at his chest. He went all the way in. If he failed, he was dead. So he's got the hammer and it's right at his chest, you guys. And all I see is my boy's finger squeezing. I see the trigger going, but nothing's happening with the hammer. He's got the hammer, man. I'm seeing this. He's trying to give him the whole fucking clip. Mexican got the hammer. He pries it out of my boy's hand. And as my boy's losing the gun, I didn't see it go. But as my boy's losing the gun, he hit the eject on the clip. And Juan got the gun with one bullet in the chamber and stuck it right back to his fucking head. Not my head, but I was sitting right next to him, so the bullet could have hit me too. Everything was on my lap. The money was on my boy's lap. And now the gun's back to his head. And Juan's like, "Give me my fucking shit! Give me my fucking shit back!" And not this much time has gone by. Only a second goes by before this happens. Next episode.